So the big question is, how is being a boss lady holding you back? Today, I share with you 3 things I learned when I thought I was wearing the pants in my marriage and how that led to my divorce. My name is Joan Nwosu, and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Last week, Davide and I were chilling on the sofa, watching a movie, just cuddled up. And he whispered to me, "I love it when you're so feminine." Aha! A light bulb immediately went off in my head because at that moment, I realized that maybe that was the missing piece I had experienced so far in all of my relationships till date. That missing piece was feminine energy. But hold up a minute, let's not go too far. Let me introduce you to the old Joan. You see, when I was more in my masculine energy, I would always attract men. Not necessarily the right kind of men, but hey, men all the same. The type of compliments I would get would be things like, "Oh, you're such a boss lady, you're so strong, you're so smart, you're so independent." At the time, I saw that as a compliment, and I thought that it meant that these men wanted me, but more importantly, they needed me. Because guess what? I was a savior in their lives. Can you relate? So let me play this out to you. Let me paint a picture of what my relationships used to look like. I was always the doer, the provider, the decision maker. I was constantly overdoing. Every relationship to me was a new project to make a new man better. Yikes, just thinking about it now. But you see, the same thing that attracted these men to me were the same things that became a problem later on. When things started to go south, I would hear things like, "You're such a control freak. You always want to be in charge. You're not feminine. You're not a woman. You're not this. You're not that. Allow me to be the man." So why was the qualities that attracted them in the first place now the problem? You see, I was always this person taking charge, making decisions, planning our lives, planning our days, planning what we'll eat, where we'll live, where we'll travel, everything. I was a control freak. But I like to tell myself, "Joan, you're just a giver." This took a lot of unlearning because I come from a lineage of very strong women. I'd seen this done with my mom, with my aunties, being boss ladies, being in charge. I'd seen how this worked out in the workplace, where you being that leader, that natural leader, would help you climb the ladder to the top. But I'd also seen how exhausting it can be in relationships. And so today I share with you the 3 lessons I learned from thinking I was wearing the pants to taking off the pants and leaning into my feminine energy. Lesson 1, I hated the kind of men I was attracting. But the truth is, masculine energy attracts feminine men. Like, it's not they're bad, they're not good, whatever. No, it's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's about polar opposites attract. So every time I stayed in my masculine energy, I would attract more feminine men who would depend on me and use me, and then I would resent them and hate them for not being masculine enough. And the vicious cycle will continue to repeat itself. I always thought that being in a feminine energy meant being weak, but it's not. The divine feminine is actually the strong force that keeps a relationship together, if you know how to use it correctly. So I learned how to be the receiver and not the giver, how to be the nurturer and not the commander, and how to be a place of peace for men. I'd always heard this, that men wanted peace, but I really never understood what it meant. What does peace mean? Does it mean I need to be quiet? That's not what peace means. Peace means allowing a man to be the man in your life. Whatever that looks like for you. Now, that was a difficult one for me. So that was the first lesson I learned, that if I stayed in my masculine, I would never be able to attract the type of masculine men that I truly desired. The second lesson I learned was I can't control a man, and neither should I desire to. So I was raised growing up with you have to take charge of your life, you have to be in control, never let anybody walk all over you. A lot of conditionings that I grew up with. Look, I come from a divorced home, and I saw how things played out. And so after going to the experience that my mom went through, I decided I'm never going to let a man take advantage of me, right? I'm never going to be at a position where I'm weak, where I need to depend on a man. Not that my mom depended on my father financially, no. But I was always going to show up as this strong person, this independent person who needs nobody. So what that led to was me always trying to control, not just control the direction of the relationship, but also control the man. I always thought I knew what was better for him than he did. Wow. What arrogance, the audacity. It's like someone telling me they know what's best for me. No, I know what's best for me. And so I realized that you can't control this. I cannot control this. Who can resonate with that? Being raised one way and now finding out that it doesn't work in relationships. So I had to learn the hard way. Every man I had ever tried to control never worked out. Even with the more feminine men. Oh, don't even think that because they're more feminine that they're just going to let you walk all over them. Maybe in the beginning, but no. It still doesn't work. It's not about how much you do for a man. It's how much you allow him to be the man. A very big lesson that I had to learn. Many, many heartbreaks. The third lesson that I learned is relax. Masculine men will always take care of you. When I was in my masculine energy, I thought I had to demand and manipulate and remind and force and nag and control, almost like a little child. Tell a man what to do. You need to be the provider. You need to do this. You need to do that. How yucky is that? Would it not be better to just relax and let a man want to take care of you? Want to see you smile, want to make you happy? If you need to ask for it, it means there's something already wrong. I was so busy working on telling him how to treat me rather than just being that which he would naturally want to do all these things for. And so I realized that what I had always been looking for, which was a masculine man that would take care of me, required me to be a feminine woman who would allow a man to take care of me. I had to be okay with not being this super earner, not being the primary earner or this big shot in some corporate world. Again, another lesson I had to learn the hard way. So I ask you today, how is being a boss lady working out for your relationships? And it's okay to say, yes, you like being a boss lady, you like being in charge of your life, you like doing everything. But aren't you tired? Don't you find it exhausting? Having to do everything on your own? Having to take charge? You feel like you have another child in the house, a man that you need to tell what to do. You need to control him. No one else is thinking in the house but you. I know those feelings because that was me when I thought I was wearing the pants. But even with wearing the pants, I still didn't get the praises. I didn't get any appreciation for all I was doing. In fact, the more I did, the more it was like not noticed. How painful is that? How draining is that? And so when I sat with Davide last week and he said to me, I love it that you're so feminine, it hit me. It hit me that this was what was missing. Even when I had had great relationships in the past, I still wasn't fully in my feminine. A part of me still wanted to control. I wanted to know that I still had charge of myself. Feminine energy doesn't mean you losing yourself. It's you relaxing in your authenticity of being the divine feminine that you naturally are. It's not faking it and becoming someone that you're not. No, it's going back to who you always were before life taught you how to be this masculine energy human being that is taking everything and taking charge, and now you're so exhausted. Let me know if you're exhausted. But the good news is there is a way out of this, if you want. The missing piece is feminine energy. If you've been doing everything right and trying to meet the man of your dreams and attract him into your life, then maybe consider this. the missing part, the missing piece is your feminine energy. So I invite you today to embrace that feminine energy. Lean into it. Google some of the practices, how you can be more feminine every day, and just start living it. Walk away from any situation that forces you to be your masculine. You deserve a man that wants to take care of you, a man who you don't have to control, a man who is willing to be the man in the relationship. Lean into your feminine energy. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Second Chances podcast, A Love Journey in Black and White. This is Joan Nwosu signing out. Till next time, sending you love and light.